When it comes to Gunpla, the Advanced Zeta kits are a very unique line. They started off as regular releases when it came to high grades, and eventually became premium Bandai only. So we've got multiple different variants of high grades, multiple master grades, a whole bunch of support units, and it can get quite confusing. I have done some reviews of multiple kits before, but today we're going to be taking a look at the Master Grade ORX-1212 Gundam TR1 Hazel Ausla. So I'm going to start off by saying that this is essentially the ultimate Master Grade Gundam Hazel to date. And the reason for that is, it feels like it's everything we've seen before compiled into one ginormous kit in one ginormous box. For example, if for some reason I lost every single one of my Master Grade Gundam Hazel kits and could only buy one back, one ever, never to be able to get another one of these kits, it would be this one right here, and here is why. At its core, it is the standard Master Grade Hazel. We can even build it as one if we want to. Well, as far as I know that is, I didn't try. On top of that, we've got a lot of the aspects that would have made up the Master Grade Advanced Hazel. We've got the Advanced Hazel's head, feet, front skirting, and the shield booster. Around then the back there, that massive backpack is from the Master Grade Hazel 2 Early type. So yeah, what we've got here is essentially a conglomeration of lots of aspects from all the previous kits we would have seen before in one humongous model kit. Anyway, if you do want one of your own, this video right here would not have been possible without those absolutely awesome people over at Buyee. So if you want one of these of your own, I'll throw a link down there in the description to there. Anyway, let's get right into it. So anyway, jumping right on in with it completely built up like what you're seeing right here, I am going to strip it down into its elements because, honestly, this is a whole lot to take in all at once. In there, that is a completely transforming torso, which is the Penelope. The weapon right here looks like what you get when you get the standard Hazel and put it together with the Rududu, but that's not the case. This is different in here. And yeah, honestly, there is just so much going on that I feel it's doing it a little bit of an injustice not to take it piece by piece. And by the way, before I forget, because sometimes I do, this action base is included, which is always an awesome plus. Okay, breaking it down piece by piece, take off the shield. A lot of this we would have seen before, so I'm not going to look at absolutely everything in depth. But just to get it all started, let's get into the actual mobile suit itself so we can gain an appreciation for absolutely all the absolute mecha madness that is going on in here. For example, before actually getting this kit in my hand, I never would have known that this here Gizmaluke round back is actually attached onto the front of the armor. This thing is one hell of a packed kit. Yeah, when we get it down to oh wait, still some more to come off. There we go, there's the mecha that is underneath. So first off, there's absolutely everything that comes in the box, and this is a whole lot of stuff, not even including the fact that we've got the bull pop rifle that came with the Jim Quell, or should I say the kit that can make the Master Grade Hazel Early type kit that you can make the newer version of the Jim Quell with. Top of that, we've got an extra beam in here, might as well pop that in, but just the one beam saber handle, but there's a lot of stuff going on in here. So that is the Hazel with the Primrose for a torso, that huge tri-booster backpack, the boost shield, the winch cannon, missile pod, extra ammo, long blade rifle, a stand with 2 different types of arms, stand adapter, and a little set of water slide decals. Now this is one crazy kit, and like I said, potentially the ultimate Master Grade Hazel kit. So anyway, jumping into that full 360-degree spin, and there is the mecha itself without any of the extra parts, accessories, and equipment. So to put this simply, this is essentially a Master Grade Advanced Hazel in white with the Primrose Escape Pod kit as a torso. So there is a whole lot going on here that technically, in a way, is not available in any other pack. Also, just in case you're not so familiar with the Master Grade Hazel, this is heavily based on the awesome, yet somewhat dated, Master Grade Gundam Mark II. Absolutely fantastic kit, to this day, still awesome. So this right here is one of those kits that has a whole bunch of awesome features that I never personally would have noticed from, say, pre-release images or anything like that. The main one would be just how cool the torso on this is. Because it's made up of the Primrose, there's such, like, how do I put it? Very non-Gundam-y looking aspects to it. We've got lots of cool angles and parts, bladed segments, and unique aspects that you don't normally see on a Gundam-style mobile suit, which I really do love, and the intricacies here are quite cool. Again, the colors on this are somewhat simple, almost in an old-school type way, but that means it does have a whole lot of charm. We also have some cool old-school leftovers around back here from the Gundam Mark II, which is those cable-style segments made out of, well, what it says in the Japanese instructions is varnish tube, but basically it's like a kind of cloth wire covering that goes over the segments there that gives it a really cool extra dimension that it wouldn't have if they were just molded out of plastic. That's something I do miss from a lot of more modern kits. We also have those somewhat old school pistons down here in the ankle as well. Once again, a leftover from the Mark II that it's based on. Combining all the different aesthetical aspects of this kit, like that very unique torso, the long extended mono-eyed head with that extra opening camera section, which does have a clear part I might add, the fully unfolding subarms on the front skirting armor, and the almost high heel-esque feet on this gives it a refreshingly non-Gundam feel, still wrapped up in a semi-Gundam looking package. This is one unique Master Grade. I absolutely adore this to my core. So we'll mention right here, I'm not going to go through all the articulation on this kit because I have taken a look at the Hazels and the Mark II before. This does have a lot of leftover aspects of the Mark II, some good, some bad. As for the good, I absolutely love the way we've got that extra bit of knee armor once the knee is bent, and some sliding armor on the leg, which is something kits do not have enough of these days. Basically, bend that leg up, that closes up, and that knee armor gets covered. All a very nice effect. However, this is a kit right here that is rocking ball joint hips, meaning it will never be pulling off the splits, but still the rest of the articulation everywhere else is pretty much what you'd extend? I mean expect. Man, pull yourself together, learn to talk. But yeah, besides the hip joints on this, pretty much everything is solid and awesome, and the best aspect about this version of the Hazel compared to the rest, when it comes to articulation that is this right here. It actually has an ab crunch, believe it or not. This is due to the transformation mechanism on the Primrose in there, but there's no denying that it's awesome to actually have this on a Mark II style Master Grade. Again, even though without all that stuff we're about to look at, this is one incredible kit. Now let's look at that stuff. So anyway, jumping right on back to the beginning of the review once again to see the overview of absolutely everything that comes in here. Now let's take a look at everything one by one. So first up in here, we have a full action base. This is essentially the same free action base you get with most of these kits. It does exactly what you want it to, which is shift angles, extend, and everything locks into position. But what's really cool about this kit is we also get part of, is this Action Base 4? I'm not sure. That you can slot in here too for using with some of the stuff we're looking at later on. So, 2 arms for the price of, well, probably 2 arms. Only minor down point here is the fact that it is a cradle style attachment up top, which is quite old school for a kit such as the Master Grade Gundam Mark II, which this is based on. So this just slides on to the pegs of the legs, and that does somewhat limit the outward articulation a little bit more. Not a lot, but you know, this isn't always the most reliable. Not the worst though, still cool that's included. So before I totally forget that's in there, let's take a look at the Primrose inside of its body first. So our scenario here is that the Titans are flying around, testing it out, seeing how it works with the backpack, and whammo! Absolutely unexpected space skeleton! But yeah, everything but the probably very explosive reactor is exploding. So it's time to jettison those legs. I said jettison. Hey, there you go. Jettison the arms. 1 and 2. Jettison this little segment here. Seems like we've lost a thruster. The entire head and neck. Because we've got a critical vernier failure here. Jettison that too. Off it goes. And the Primrose here is fully transformable, which is fantastic. So this whole segment folds out like some kind of shrimp. Comes up like so. Locks in. Forgot we need to jettison those arm peg connectors. So the whole arms could have came out as one instead of all in pieces. But hey, explosions. These side segments slide down to cover up the armholes. These side parts then flip out just like so. Then clip in like that, lock into position. flip these segments in like that, flip these ones out like that, and there we go, one completely transformed Primrose Escape Pod. So also in here we've got this base adapter, which allows you to use the Primrose right here, like so, slotting in ever so perfectly, with the included action base. So the Primrose here does have an opening cockpit, just pop that down like so, flip this here little flap, and there's the cockpit with the included pilot figure. So in typical P-Bandai trying to sell you 1,000 other items kind of way, you can use this with a bunch of other Advance of Zeta kits. You can use it with the Hazel Customs backpack to create the Emergency Escape Pod Primrose. You can use it with another Primrose to create the Primrose equipped with Tri-Booster unit. And you can use it with the Hrududu to make the Primrose equipped with the Hrududu. But we're just talking about this kit today, so let's do it with what we've gotten here. So you can use this with the Tri-Booster unit like this. You get back up there, you. Which does look pretty badass, and definitely looks like it can go a whole lot faster. 3 times faster, maybe? We can also equip the missile pod right here. That attaches on here like so. Try not to lose some extra parts while you're doing that. And the winch cannon can attach onto the other side like that right there. So anyway, there's a full 360 spin of what the Primrose looks like with all that equipped onto it. And I have to say, this is pretty cool, and one of those things that makes it so hard to decide what to do with this kit for up on the shelf. Hold on, wait a minute. Had the missile pod on completely upside down. Let's get that around. Yeah, there we go. So at this point, I'm only doing this out of personal curiosity, but I'm wondering, can I transform this without removing anything and put the Hazel back together again? Get you out of there. Nope. No, you can't. The missile pod has to be removed and reattached back up top. So yeah, I'll do it off camera. So continuing on through the accessories now and onto the winch cannon right here on the side. So this has a super articulated arm on the front here, which brings it round to the side. There is a whole lot going on. I'm not going to go through it all, but it can move around a lot. This also opens up at this point right here like so. So it opens up into an almost huge pair of jaws. And you can attach that onto the smaller arm that is included in here, just like so. We also have a wire segment, same as we see in a lot of these kits, that pops in like that, and then into the segment that it was removed from. And then displayed something like that right there. The shield booster right here is exactly the same as we would have seen with previous kits. I will mention though that this little arm right here is vestigial in this kit because it has nothing to attach onto, so we just use the arm adapter segment down here to attach it onto the reverse of the arm, like so. Next up in here we've got this, which is the rifle. This is a little bit different from the beam rifle we would have seen with the Hazel Custom and the Advanced Hazel for a couple of reasons. So first up here is the one that came with the Hazel Custom. So this has a tuckable top sight there, so it is articulated. The side handle here has articulation as well. And that is pretty much it for all of its movement. We do have a clear section in the front there. And if we put this side by side with the one that comes in this kit, this is made out of inner frame plastic, not this darker, hard plastic. This is more of that softer inner frame style plastic. On top of that, this top part does not move. The handle down here does move, but the biggest difference is the fact that this section here can tilt out like so, which usually isn't the case in a beam rifle, more so big things like bazookas, and that's what this is about to become. This kit does feature some parts from the Hrududu, but at the same time they're slightly modified. This section attaches onto the front, making this into the long blade rifle. There's the blade right there for some good old choppy. And around back then we've got this segment here, which attaches on just like so. So once again, this looks very similar to what we would have seen with the combination of the Master Grade Hrududu kit with the Master Grade Hazel Custom. Except now, this whole thing can tilt at the handle, which is very handy. And around back here we have this attachment point that comes down like so, which can mount it onto this kit's shoulders. So I did not say this earlier on, but these shoulders are unique to this kit right here. They may be in the sold separately Primrose kit, but when it comes to Master Grade Hazel kits, you will not get this in the likes of the Hazel Custom or the Advanced Hazel. So this pops up onto the shoulder there, then into the hand down here with that flip down handy dandy handle. which makes sure that this attaches on good and solid. You nearly have to rotate the entire arm now in order to move this particular gun, but that looks absolutely savage right there. Also, we've got a beam saber in here. It does exactly the same as any beam saber we would have seen in the past, so you know what that would look like. Here's an example of what it would look like in the hand if I could be arsed putting it into the hand, but no, I'll just pop it out. And that stores up here, like we've seen with all the Hazels to date. And yeah, that's it, and it's awesome. So anyway, that right there is it for the review, and this is one hell of a kit. You know what, it's kind of strange and a little bit difficult for me to rank this kit because the original Master Grade Hazel Custom that I reviewed about 2 years ago, I ranked bronze tier because it just wasn't up to spec. I love that kit. I absolutely love that kit, it just there's so many old school leftovers from the Master Grade Gundam Mark II. But at the same time, it still isn't quite as good as the Master Grade Gundam Mark II. However, this kit has improved on every aspect of this kit. It's taken everything from all the Hazels we've seen since and mashed them into this awesome kit with that brilliant Primrose Escape Pod. This kit has really elevated the Master Grade Hazel. Sure, it still does have a bunch of old school aspects to it. It's still recycling a lot of parts from the Master Grade Gundam Mark II, which isn't necessarily a bad thing in isolation. The hips would probably be the worst aspect, but the fact that it has a brand new torso, sub-arms for a front skirting, a ridiculously cool backpack, some cool weapons, it just makes it feel like an absolutely brand new kit. It's been retrofitted with so much stuff, there's barely any old school Mark II in there besides in the limbs. I did not mention it in this review, but there is a lot of leftover parts on the runners, including a lot of parts from the head and the original torso, so that means I think you can build a lot of that if you want to, which is always a plus if you like that sort of thing. So man, honestly, going with my gut, I feel this is still a gold tier Gundam. Even though it does have some old school aspects in it, they really do not detract from this kit. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews. As always, if you want one of your own, there's a link to buy it down there in the description. And as always, I'll see you next time. As always, I cannot end this video right here without thanking each and every one of you guys for watching this video, for dropping a like, subscribing, and of course to each and every one of you that supports me over on the channel memberships or over on Patreon like Craig Jerry, Tyler Sanders, the Ambassador for Asymmetric Cats, Caleb Engelhart, Sean T, and Brian Perez.